breaking news. Welcome to today's headlines. Why we don't want to release Nnamdi Kanu. Federal government tells appeal court. Why we don't want to release Nnamdi Kanu. Federal government tells appeal court. To my dear listeners, from wherever you're listening from, please stay tuned as I read today's news. On Monday, the federal government explained why it had disobeyed the Court of Appeals ruling, ordering it to release Nnamdi Kanu, the incarcerated leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, or IPOB. In an affidavit it submitted in support of its request to suspend the judgment implementation, federal government referred to Kanu as a flight risk person and insisted that the case against him raises national security concerns. Federal government contended that whenever a case touched on national security, the right of the person impacted takes a backseat. Citing the Federal Republic of Nigeria versus Asari Dokubo case law as support. The respondent presents a flight risk. Understanding the range of depositions in our application is crucial. This issue has implications for the state's national security, which is one of the justifications for our submission. We rely on the Supreme Court ruling in the case of Federal Government of Nigeria versus Dokubo, which said that human rights are subordinated in situations where there is a threat to national security or a high probability of such a harm. Any individuals, human rights may be suspended if there is a threat to national security until that threat is removed. According to the federal government legal representatives, Mr. David Kaswe, an assistant state counsel to the office of the Attorney General of the Federation, Horn's security of the nation is in jeopardy. The individual right may not even exist. In addition, it informed the court that there was information to suggest that releasing Kanu from custody would worsen the region's security situation in the southeast. Chief Mike Ozekome, SAN. The attorney for Kanu argued that the federal government motion was effectively a request for a citizen's liberty to be suspended, and he urged the appellate court to reject it. In fact, my lord, the release of Kanu will actually bring peace and tranquility to the nation and the southeast in particular. This was proven following the court's decision ordering the respondent release. As soon as the verdict was pronounced, the entire southeast was filled with pleasure and delight. There was a lot of celebration and fun, Ozekome continued. He stated that Dokubo's situation was distinct from Kanu's. According to him, the appeal court has already concluded Kanu's trial and ordered his freedom, whilst Dokubo requested bail pending the outcome of the charge against him. A three-member panel of appellate court justice, chaired by Justice Aruna Tsanami, held off on making a decision until a time that would be disclosed to the parties after hearing from both sides. Appeal court rejects federal government request for adjournment in battle to stay judgment on Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB leader's discharge. On Monday, the Court of Appeal in Abuja declined to grant the federal government's plea for an adjournment in a case trying to prevent the execution of the ruling that overturned the terrorism charges against Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the Biafra Nation movement. The federal government was instead given until today at noon to move its application or lose it, according to the court. At today's sessions, the federal government's attorney, Mr. David Kaswe, claimed that Kanu's attorney, Chief Mike Ozekome San, had since last Friday supplied him with a counter affidavit. Kaswe, however, asserted that he received a list of one extra authority this morning and that he needed time to respond. However, Ozekome opposed to the motion on the grounds that only one additional authority had been served and that the federal government should not be allowed to request an adjournment based on the presence of just one authority. To my dear listeners, now we've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by at the comment section and let's know what your view is all about.